Hello everyone and welcome back to another F1 2020 video, our last to first challenge in the new Formula 2 2020 cars. We've got Sean Galao, Dan Ticktum, Guan Yu Zhou, Callum Ilott, Marcus Armstrong, Christian Lundgaard, Yuki Tsunoda, Jane Deruvala, Jack Aitken, Guilherme Samaya, Louis Delatraz, Pedro Piquet. We've got Nobuharu Matsushita, Felipe Drugovich, Artem Markelov, Giuliano Alesi, Mick Schumacher, Robert Schwartzman, Roy Nissany, Marino Sato, Nikita Mazepin and Luca Giotto now in the game with their respective teams and liveries. 22 cars, which is the most outside of my team, which also has 22. So we did this challenge in F1 2019 when they added the Formula 2 cars. We used Nobuharu Matsushita's car on that occasion around the Suzuka circuit. This time we're going to do a similar thing with Felipe Drugovich, and we're going to be going to the Brazilian Grand Prix, and again using a track off the F2 calendar to mix things up a little bit. So yeah, last to first challenge, let's get into it.
It's finally here, the day we've all been waiting in anticipation for, race day. The Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit has been home to many exciting events in motorsport history, and I have no doubt today will be just as memorable. This high-altitude anti-clockwise circuit is made up of just 15 corners and offers plenty of DRS opportunities, but not as much opportunity to overtake as you would expect. The circuit is known for its very technical Sector 2, which is sandwiched between the circuit's two long straights, the latter of which is considered to be one of the longest full-throttled stretches you'll find. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Artem Markelov yesterday puts him on pole position, with Jane Deruvala alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Samaya, Schumacher, Marcus Armstrong, and Schwartzman, Matsushita, Ticktum, Mazepin, Yuki Tsunoda, Alesi, Delatraz, Jack Aitken, and Ilott, Zhou, Giotto, Nissany, and Marino Sato. Piquet and Christian Lundgaard, Galao and Felipe Drugovich completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So we go straight to the 5 red lights. And the lights are out and we are underway for the feature race here in Brazil. Galao gets a good enough start to block Lundgaard from taking the racing line into the first corner, and side by side they head into the center S. We're just going to be very patient here at the back of the grid. We've got all the time in the world to make these moves. We don't need to rush anything and break our front wing in the first corner. Galao's slow as we get a little bit held up by him though, but we're still close enough to potentially make a move as they're all going to freight train a little bit into this first corner. We get Lundgaard as well and almost get alongside Piquet, who swoops across to the apex, and very lucky that we backed out of that one. Now Sato's been squeezed out by his teammate Roy Nissany up ahead. Piquet looking for a move, not going to make anything of that as we try to get a good run out of the middle sector down the inside of Sato and BK in the same corner. We cut the corner a little bit though, and we give the position back to Sato. That was a little bit unfair if we just cut the corner there, so we give it back, but we immediately send one up the inside of the Albon corner and take it right back and move ourselves up into what is currently 18th position. A lot of work left to do as we go up the inside of Roy Nissany into the final real corner of the circuit, and we move ourselves up into 17th. Next up is the Chinese driver Guan Yu Zhou who clearly did not have the best qualifying of his career this time around, as we go up the inside at the same corner as before, and we just about scrape through Guan Yu Zhou, not leaving the space on the inside there, and we have a bit of tire grazing, but nothing more than that. No damage for either of us, so we can just continue on our way and chase down this next driver, Luca Giotto. We send one up the inside at turn 4, and that was an easy enough move on the Italian. Moved ourselves up into 15th position. Next up is Louis Delatraz, as we sit right behind him through the final corner, and we get a decent exit here. Can we maybe challenge Delatraz into the Senna S? We're actually dropping back, not a lot of straight line speed on our side clearly, but with the DRS we should be able to close up to Louis Delatraz. We are gaining and gaining and gaining, and we're going to send one up the inside as Delatraz locks up, and we make the move stick just about on Louis Delatraz. He's got a better run though through the center S as we go a little bit wide, and he may have a bit of a run coming out onto the Retroposta straight, but it won't be enough for him to challenge into turn 4, and we're able to hold on, and we can shift our focus forwards once again as we have moved ourselves up into 14th. Next up is Jack Aitken, and we're going to make the move up the inside of the Albon corner once again, and a little bit of contact made that time as we completely missed the apex, but we do make the move on the Anglo-Korean driver, as they so enjoy saying in commentary. But on the exit of the final real corner, we do get a nice run, but not able to make the move on any of the cars ahead. So the next target for us is Giuliano Alesi. So let's see if we can get a good run out of the center as the corner I really struggle with on this circuit. It's just about the only corner that's been causing me problems, but unfortunately it leads into probably the best overtaking opportunities. We send one up the inside from a long way back, and we make up for lost ground in the braking zone, make the move on Lacey, and we're up into 12th position. Next up is Callum Ilott, who seems to be struggling for pace a little bit in this phase of the feature race. Pit window will be coming up somewhat soon, so I guess that is understandable, but we will see if we can make the move on him at the Albon corner. It's been a happy hunting ground for us. We send one up the inside, and he, just like Guan Yu Zhou, does not leave us much space on the apex, but we do manage to get through and move ourselves up into 11th position. Next up is Yuki Tsunoda and Nikita Mazepin, so those two will be gladly battling away. But Callum Ilott, we go on board, and he's got an engine issue in that car. He's got no power and smoke pouring out the back, and it seems the Mechachrome has expired in his Uni Virtuosi. Luca Giotto smashes into the back of him as he cuts across the track to pull up in front of an access road, and Giotto has to make a stop. We make a stop for our compulsory pit stop on the very next lap, so it's not too bad for Giotto. He loses the time to change the front wing, but in terms of making an extra stop, he will not have to do that. But we switch onto the harder compound of tyre, and our compulsory pit stop is now out of the way, and we can push to the end. There's a few cars, obviously you can see left to pit. We have dropped down into 16th position, so we'll need to see where we re-emerge versus the cars in front. Yuki Tsunoda is the most likely car for us to get the undercut on, so as we head through the center race, you can see in the top left there, Tsunoda is just ahead of us. We overtake him, and we also overtake Mick Schumacher through turn 3, and we've gained 2 positions. We gained 2 positions with the undercut. So the next car up ahead is James Randall, as we get a nice run through the middle sector. We're going to send one up the inside, and he's got no choice other than to give us the position there as we bully our way through a little bit, and we move on to shift our focus to Devon Butler in front of us here, and we continue the nicknames but as we made a bit of a mistake there, Mazepin's right behind us again, but we're pretty nice through this last sector, so I don't think he'll be able to make a move on us. I say that as we missed both apexes through there, but anyway, continuing on, we do eventually close the gap to Dan Ticktum as we open the DRS towards turn 1. We'll see if we can make the move on the British driver as we go down the inside into turn 1, and we make that move a little bit deep though, and Ticktum gets a really amazing switchback there, so well played. Never a driver to give up is Dan Ticktum, and he is certainly showing that today with a very nice switchback move there. But heading towards turn 4, we've got the slipstream. We're going to send one up the inside from a long way back, but once again we can't quite get it stopped, and Ticktum with another switchback, and Ticktum is really fighting back today and maintaining this position with everything he's got. We're throwing everything at it to try and make the move on him. We're very close here. This has been a good overtaking corner for us. We go up the inside again, but we can't get a stop. We run a little bit wide, and Ticktum is straight away back through. That one was certainly my own mistake there, but that first time I was genuinely shocked that Ticktum was able to get the switch back, but yeah, going way too deep on that last corner, and yeah, we were never going to get that stopped. But anyway, we'll get the DRS here, and we'll see if we can overtake Dan Ticktum once again as we head towards the first corner through these final slight kinks in the road as we head towards the line to start what will be the 23rd lap of the race. We're just over halfway in this one, and we have made good progress through the field as we send one up the inside of Dan Ticktum. And again, we miss the apex by miles. We run very wide, and Dan Ticktum re-overtakes us. I hope this isn't the status quo for the rest of the race, because it will get old very, very quickly. It's giving me flashbacks of the battle with Sebastian Vettel in Azerbaijan I had a while ago. But anyway, we'll continue on and see if we can close the gap to Dan Ticktum. Once again, we lost a lot of time as Mazepin almost caught up to us right there. But anyway, moving on, we are right behind him once again as we head towards the last sector, and we'll see if we can get to the inside of the final real corner, and we make that move on Dan Ticktum, move ourselves up into 7th. But I don't think Dan Ticktum will be done here. He's fought back enough times that we're starting to think that he always will, and he's got the DRS here as he goes to the right hand side, and we can't fight back. Look at the straight line speed difference it makes for Dan Ticktum. We go back up the inside, and it's our turn to try the re-overtaking move, and we sweep around and finally I think get that position locked in ahead of Dan Ticktum, and we should be able to hold on here. So we move on and eventually catch up to our teammate Nobuharu Matsushita, and we'll see if we can make the move on him as well. We go up the inside into this same left-hander at the start of the final sector, and we make the move on our teammates with relative ease, but Matsushita still putting up a fight on the right-hand side there, so he is not giving up. We make a bit of contact. That reminds me of the collision they had, the MP cars had in Belgium, but thankfully this one was nowhere near as disastrous as we move on to the 26th lap of this Brazilian feature race of 40 laps in total. So there's still a long way to go and only 5 cars ahead of us. So we might be able to get to first in this race if we continue to keep up this pace. We've got Robert Schwartzman up ahead as we head through this very twisty middle sector. We're trying to get to the outside. That's never going to work there. So we'll see if we can get a switch back and go up the inside into the final corner. Not going to make the move there. So we'll try and line up the move and get a good exit out of the final sector and get the run towards the center S. So in the slipstream we sit while we wait until the DRS. But Schwartzman also has their DRS from Guilherme Samaya, of all people, who has driven a yeah, very good race today. I have no idea how he qualified in 30, maybe got DRS along the straights, but we run very wide off the final corner there, and we move on to another opportunity. We've just lost that one. So continuing on, we are trying to go around the outside of Robert Schwartzman, and we make it work out on the curb, but we've got the move done on Robert Schwartzman. Next up is Guilherme Samaya. We'll see if we can overtake our fellow Brazilian driver. in this final sector. So we have a little look into the final corner, but nothing really doing there. So we get a nice run on the exit. We'll see if we can get to the inside of the center S and overtake Samaya there. As we get the DRS, we actually have to go to the outside as Samaya's defending is weaving all over the place as we head along the straight, but we'll easily make the move on the outside line and move ourselves up into 4th position. I may have mixed up some numbers of positions at some point, but whatever, we're in 4th now, and our next target is Marcus Armstrong. So we'll see if we can overtake him as we move on to lap 37. So we've jumped ahead quite a way in this race, but we make the move on Armstrong with relative ease there, and we're on to the podium in this one. So it's been a superb race where there's no way we're going to catch up to the cars ahead, as Armstrong tried to come back at us there. Not going to make it work though, as we pinched him on the apex, and Guilherme Samaya retires from the race with a mechanical failure, and that is the end of the day for him. So unfortunate for him, he was having a really nice race, but he'll be starting from the back in the next one. But we're on to now
This is your final lap of the race.
And Marcus Armstrong is fighting back on the outside line here. We're pinched on the apex of turn 1, and Marcus Armstrong is back through ahead of us and takes back for 3rd place rather, as we head on to the Reta Aposta for the final time in this race. We've got the DRS though, and we are closing up to Marcus Armstrong, where we are going to have to send one up the inside into turn 4, and we make that move on Marcus Armstrong. We look back, he's run into the back of us. Marcus Armstrong has just damaged his front wing, and he won't be able to fight back after that. Marcus Armstrong has thrown away any chance of fighting back for this 3rd position, and we've got it locked in now. Robert Schwartzman is quite a way behind, so we're not going to have to worry about him or any of the cars behind them. So Marcus Armstrong really, I don't know, he just tried to maybe make the switch back the way Dan Ticktum did there, and just couldn't turn the car far enough to the left, run into the back of us, and damaged his own front wing. So unfortunate for Armstrong, but for us it guarantees us this 3rd place finish from last on the grid. A very nice race for us as we head towards the line along this very long run to the finish, but we're going to come across the line for P3.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
The Brazilian fans will be jumping out of their pants. Let's hope not, that would be weird. Get driver of the day as well, of course, overtaking however many cars that is, 18, 19.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Arden today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
And it's time now for the Podium Celebrations. And how well deserved is this one? This is a team all about giving talented young drivers an opportunity to race and to win. Arden are your winners here today.
So it's Artem Markelov who takes the race win. He'll only wish he had that success this year. Jan Deruvla finishes P2, and we wrap up 3rd place for MP Motorsports.
Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Felipe Drugovich. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So P3 will be starting 6th in the sprint race, so let's get straight into it.
We've reversed the top 8 from yesterday's race to set the grid for the sprint race here today, and the drivers are almost ready on the grid down below. Davide, is there anything we should be looking for in today's race? The teams are all very competitive at the moment, so are we about to witness a push from anyone in particular?
Hi Alex, the team will have been studying everyone else out there very carefully. So I think we are in for a very interesting event today. I can't wait to see how this race unfolds.
Alright, so here we are on the grid. We've already got Markelov and Deruvula behind us. They were very fast last race as we go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the sprint race here in Brazil. It's a superb start. We immediately get Armstrong and Schwartzman as we head towards the first corner. Mazepin and Ticktum fighting away side by side as they head through the center S. We'll see if we can get a run on them the way we did on Galeo and Lundgaard, but unfortunately we're not able to get as good exit as we tangled with the cars behind a little bit there, and they can fight away on their own as Mazepin defends from Ticktum. Mazepin holds on to second position for the time being. We've got a good run on Ticktum actually here as we head into the middle sector for the first time. We'll see if we can make a move here, and that's never going to work. So we switch to the outside, try and get a nice flowing run, but we're actually too good through there, and we had to back out there behind Ticktum, who is still right up the rear end of Mazepin. He defends always pushing us to the grass there as we had to take a bit of avoiding action. And we do make the move on Dan Ticktum at the final corner at the end of the first lap, and we can now shift our focus forwards to Nikita Mazepin, who is putting some pressure on Tsunoda, but Tsunoda's been able to get away cleanly at the start of this one. Ticktum is actually going to fight back at us down the inside of the first corner. We leave the space, but we're laying off on the brakes. That is not really a major threat there, so we're able to continue on and once again focus on Nikita Mazepin, who lost a bit of ground through the center S. So we move on, and we are now right behind Mazepin at the end of the third lap. A purple first sector. He defends right to the inside there. We're going to try and use that to our advantage and try and straighten up the run out of the final corner as we head into the blazing sun there. Cloudy conditions mostly this weekend, but a bit of sun peeking through as it is there. Mazepin defending right to the inside. We're going to go to the outside with the DRS open, and we'll see if we can make the move on Mazepin, but we've touched the grass. We've made our own mistake there. Mazepin is going to be able to easily get back through, and we have to resettle for third position and recompose ourselves, try and get that position back later on. So as we continue, we do eventually catch up to Mazepin once again, only a lap later actually, so we caught up to him reasonably quickly. He seems to be lacking a little bit of pace. Tsunoda getting away, he defends to the inside once again. We go to the outside of Mazepin, and this time we're a little bit more cautious of where the track limits are. We give Mazepin a little bit of a bump mid-corner as our lines converge, but we'd easily make the move there on the Russian, and we make our way up into second position. Here's a replay of the move as we left each other plenty of space to begin with, but bit of a collision mid-corner. No damage for either of us, just play on. But next up is the race leader, Yuki Tsunoda. We go to the outside, but we've done the same thing. We've touched the grass, not as much as the time with Mazepin, but we still had to slow up too much to make the corner, and Tsunoda gets get out of jail free card there, and is able to immediately stretch out a big gap. But continuing on, once again, we'll see if we can get a run down the inside of Tsunoda into the final corner. Well, the final real corner, I'm going to keep saying that, and we get ahead of the Japanese driver and move ourselves up into the lead of the sprint race here in Brazil. But we make a very clumsy mistake there. Looking back to see where Tsunoda is, we've gone off the road, and Tsunoda is going to get the move on the straight, move himself back into the lead of the race. Very stupid mistake there for me, and yeah, that unfortunately is not the first time that's happened here in Brazil. But anyway, we have plenty of time to try and overtake him again. We seem to have the pace around this circuit, so we'll see if we can re-overtake Tsunoda very soon. We take a very wide line there, trying to straighten up the car, and also trying to just stay out of the dirty air of Tsunoda, and we'll see if we can get up the inside into the final corner. I thought he was going to cut us off there, and he held his line, just had a bit of a wobble, but I wasn't entirely sure what he was doing, so I had to back out of it there, and Tsunoda holds on to the position once again as we are now on lap 12 of this race. So we've been stuck behind Tsunoda for quite a while. The safety car is out, and that is because the ART of Christian Lundgaard has come to a halt at the center S, I believe that is, and Tsunoda is coming in for a stop, so I'll follow him in and do what he does. He's probably going to run on the soft tyres to the end, so I've switched up the strategy to do that. There's no compulsory pit stop in this race, but it seems logical to do one under the safety car. Sonoda manages
Speed now. Let's get some heat into those tires.
to hold what would have been the lead if it wasn't for Callum Ilott being the only driver not to pit under this safety car, and he's gone from last to first in this race now. So we're trying to do it in the weekend. Ilott's done it in a lap, and he is into the lead of the race ahead of Sonoda, but Sonoda and everyone else has gone on to medium tyres. They are the medium tyres from the feature race. They've done 25 laps.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.4 seconds. They're on old mediums.
So everyone has just gone onto a set of tyres that is about 7 laps older than the tyres they were already on. They've gone onto a worse set of medium tyres to finish this race. Unbelievable scenes. I don't understand. Why have they all done that? So Callum Ilott has the second best tyres in the field.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
And yeah, second best tyres in the field, only to us, and now has the lead from last place on the grid. He has absolutely scored one in this race. We're trying to stay right behind Sonoda and try and get a good jump on the restart, but we get the complete opposite of that, and they both just fly off into the distance. But with our tyre advantage, I'm not too concerned. We're able to hold off the Russian behind us, and we can focus on the Japanese driver ahead, as well as the Brit as we head through the centre S. And you can already see we have some decent grip through that section of the circuit compared to how much time we were losing through the first 3 corners before. Turn 4 even more telling as we head towards the more twisty section of this circuit, and as we head towards the final few corners, we'll see if Yuki Tsunoda defends very early there, so we make the move on the outside of Tsunoda and we move ourselves up into second position. He's still there on the inside actually as we battle side by side through these final 3 corners. Tsunoda not giving up, he's got the nose ahead as we head towards the center S. We will have the better braking performance,
Teammate behind is 4.9 seconds.
and we managed to outbrake Tsunoda with our grippier tyres and move ourselves up into second position. But a great battle there with Tsunoda, plenty of respect given between us, and he has to resign to third position for the time being, as he's going to come back at us though towards the inside, but again we have the tyre advantage, so it's going to be very difficult for him to make a move. And as we now head into the twisty section of the circuit, we should be able to leave the rest of the field behind. But now we catch up to Callum Ilott at the very end of the 24th lap of the race, and there are only 4 laps to go after this. We tried to get a straight run on the exit of the final real corner, but we weren't able to do that, and just completely missed the apex and went off the track. So we're shaking up for a move as we head towards the closing stages, as Matsushita retires from the race with a mechanical failure in the middle sector. That only yields a yellow flag, and no more safety cars to come in this one. But now we are ready to make the move on Callum Ilott as we head towards the center S. We've got the DRS and we go to the outside line later on the brakes than Callum, and we're able to sweep around as we go a little bit wider than I would have liked to, and we completely missed the next corner. So
Dropped out of the race.
we're actually going to let Ilott retake that position as we awkwardly try and slot in behind him, misjudge that a little bit, and we'll shape up for a move once again, and hopefully make it a little bit more cleanly. And we're going to go up the inside and make that move in a clean and aggressive way into the middle sector, and we now have the lead with only 2.5 laps to go. We've got the best tyres as well in the field, so there should be no real way the cars behind can catch up to us. So I think we've got this one locked in at the moment. So now we move on to the final lap, heading towards the finish line to win the sprint race here in Brazil. absolute silence from Jefferoni. He is in disbelief about the drive that he just saw. Callum Ilott, driver of the day. Fair play, last place to second in the sprint race. Not a bad effort at all. Oh, that was fun. Really enjoyed driving these cars again. It's been a while since the Formula 2 portion of the career mode.
It wasn't always plain sailing today, but a very important win nonetheless. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
The safety car had a huge impact on the race today, that's for sure. A lot of racers begin panicking when it's brought into a race, as it means important decisions need to be made in a very short space of time. Should you pit? Well, that depends. What track is it? How are the tires holding up? What is my current position? A race can be won or lost after the introduction of a safety car. Making quick thinking key to the victory here today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the MP Motorsport team, and I'm very happy to see them up there on the top step of the podium.
So we take the win for Felipe Drugovich and MP Motorsport. Callum Ilott brings home second place for UNI Virtuosi. Sonoda up on the podium for Carlin.
And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Callum Ilott, for me, he made the difference. He was just the best driver of the day, overall.
That's it for today's race. From Davide and I, it's goodbye, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Giuliano Alesi in the points. What you doing there? I'm joking. But anyway, that is the end of that. I thoroughly enjoyed these two races. A lot of overtaking, a lot of action. No crashes, unfortunately. So no major excitement in that way. I guess Marcus Armstrong ran into us. I guess that counts as a crash. But nonetheless, a very enjoyable way to spend a couple of hours in these F2 cars. Very fun to drive. Lots of cars close together all the time, and good battling with the other cars all the time. It's yeah, I honestly have to say I enjoy these a lot more actually than the Formula 1 cars in the Formula 1 games. But anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is I'll do a full season in these cars, in the 2020 Formula 2 cars, to break up the F1 content a little bit. And yeah, I really enjoy these, so I'll probably be uploading that fairly regularly. But yeah, I'll leave the highlights reel for this feature race as well as the sprint race running. But other than that, I don't have too much else to say other than these cars are amazing. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, and goodbye.